Hey friends, thanks again for tuning in. This is another episode of the Scoped Exposure podcast. I'm your host, as always, Spencer Priest. This is the Listen Up Listening Party podcast, whatever the title of this whole shebang is. It's been a while since we've done one of these, and I think it's just been a huge shifting of focuses when it comes to just different things with live shows now being back in the mix and now filming and podcasting. And I know a couple of people have been messaging me like, what's up with Listen Up? Are you still doing that? So I think over the last few months, I've been thinking about how I can keep this going without having the immense burden isn't maybe the right word, but the insane amount of workload that it takes for what I was doing in the past when it came to Listen Up. It'd be a lot of photoshopping, band logos, and setting up the graphic and all that. So essentially going forward, what I'm going to be doing is once a month, just dumping all the dope shit that I found that month into the Listen Up, and then that will accumulate over a year's time. And I'm going to be doing these as like a featurette one of those, a feature on whatever came out that specific month. So this is January 2022, as you probably saw in the title. So I've picked 10 dope things that I want to check out and feature in addition to the, more than 10 that are currently in the Listen Up playlist, available on Spotify and Apple Music. So yeah, like I said, I'm kind of shifting the focus and way that we do these to make sure that we can still feature new artists, but still focus on some of the other things that we're doing in the Scope universe. So without further ado, I should also mention that these are going to be audio only podcasts going forward. So these are special things where you are tuning in just to check out dope music, hang out with me. Maybe you got a bev of your own in your glove compartment or, somewhere at home, at your office, whatever you're up to. This is just going to be a chill time. I got my Liquid Death here that I'm going to check right now. Try to, make sure that crack open is as long as possible. I'm going to take a quick swig and we're going to get into the episode. So the first band we have up for feature is Statement of Pride. The track we're going to be listening to is Once Again, which is off their EP A Fire Inside, which came out on From Within Records. This is a new straight edge band from Florida, which was recorded by a friend of the show, Tyler Denslow of KOTP Records. As soon as I saw the cover art for this, I knew this was something I wanted to check out and wanted to kick it off at the top of the episode because it kicks ass. So without further ado, this is Statement of Pride. Let's hit it.
It's
Very, very dope track. Yeah, that was. I just sometimes when you hear a band under the recording, I immediately imagine of like a good response of how that band would look, and like you know when that breakdown riff kind of kicks in, it's single guitars only. Like I just see a room exploding. So if that band's not doing something badass in Florida, like FYA or something in that area by this time next year, I'm gonna be pissed. Also, shout out again to Tyler from KOTP. The production of that is just perfect balance of like punchy but also really raw. Yeah, Statement of Pride. I'm excited to see what they do next. Next up is going to be a band called Coming Right Up, which is a band I wanted to put closer at the beginning of the episode because I think this band is very, very cool. Shout out to Devin from Rejection Pack for sharing their promo on a story, which kind of put me onto it. So this band, the track we're going to be listening to is called Head Out, which is from their debut release, Promo 2022. This band's actually from Indonesia of all places. And I apologize in advance if I butcher the city's pronunciation, but I think, and I did some homework, so bear with me. I think the city that they're from is called Tulun. Is that an autocorrect? Oh man, we're gonna have to. Oh, here we go. Tulun Gaguan. Some of those. Sorry guys if I just completely butchered that. But as soon as I saw, this band was from Indonesia, I feel like for me being in Canada, I always like when I see a band from like an underdog scene or somewhere that I'm like, I don't even know where this is, or like a totally different country outside of North America. It immediately is like I want to give them like more, even more attention based off if they're from California or New York, just because those bands have to fight harder to be able to represent their scenes and build that kind of community. So this is Coming Right Up. The song again is Head Out, and I think you're gonna really like this band if you like that melodic hardcore vibe that bands like One Step Closer are doing right now. I immediately heard that when I heard this track. So let's hit it. This is Head Out by Coming Right Up.
What I do, to me.
very, very sick. Um, I think as I was listening to this, I was reflecting on I don't think any melodic hardcore band like that can work with a singular guitar player. Like, I think you every band like One Step Closer or Coming Right Up clearly has like someone doing, the main kind of like chord stuff and then the lead stuff kind of underneath. And I was thinking like, is there any melodic hardcore bands that only have one guitar player? And I'm still dumbfounded and coming up with nothing. So I think that's very dope to kind of it's always like adding more layers to that, especially in that music genre makes it sound so great. So yeah, I think dope track, dope new band. I'm a big fan of a lot of bands from Indonesia, so this is another great one that's added into the mix of things. So shout out to Coming Right Up. Coming right up next, pun intended, is going to be Vane. Vane.fm's debut track off the upcoming record. This World Is Gonna Ruin You. The track we're going to be listening to is The Killing Room. I wanted to feature the very first track or single that they announced, just because I think a lot of people have been eagerly awaiting Vane's next record, and I think like the couple songs and all the remixes that they did in 2020 was like, it was really, really dope. But I think a lot of people were like, give me that next full length, because Vane's really one of those pioneers of like that really chaotic, spastic kind of metalcore. I think for me, I've talked about it on the show where there's been metalcore for me can kind of be hit or miss. There can be stuff that I'm like, I kind of heard this before. It's like, it's good, but like it just doesn't hit me the way that other bands in other genres do. And Vane is one of those exceptions for me when it comes to metalcore, where it's like, yep, like this is what I want when I think of metal and some of those things. So again, we're going to be listening to The Killing Room. This track actually came out with a dope music video produced by or directed and produced by Max Moore. And it was just crazy to see his level of work and behind the scenes with all those things. So, everyone's very excited for new Vane. New record is coming out on March 4th on Closed Casket Activities. So make sure you get a pre-order, pick that shit up, whatever you got to do to make sure you got some new Vane in your hands. Let's check out The Killing Room. fuck. Like, this is an audio only version of our podcast now, but like, I wish y'all could see the stank faces that I was making with some of those parts. Like, just head grooving, just honestly one of the strongest Vane songs that I've heard in a long, long time. Yeah. Even just like the beginning, how there's like the vocals, but they're pulled away in the mix. Like the initial vocals don't come in until like 40 some seconds in, and it didn't feel like a long intro to me. So yeah, like the singles that have even come out after this have been in their own right amazing. And yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be putting this new Vane record as their album of the year or top 10 or however you curate those kind of things. But yeah, very, very sick track. Very jealous of everyone who got to see them at FYA. And, you know, I know this band is set for some serious domination on the global front. Next up, we got Born Anew. This is a single that they dropped called Rat in the Room. And this band's from New Jersey. I can't remember exactly how I got put onto them, but I just really like the badass kind of mean mug and hardcore kind of vibe that they have. I've been telling more people need to check out this band if you're into that kind of vibe. So without further ado, let's hit that one.
So fucking cold. In opinions, assaulting servants. Trust isn't blind. You got the strength that held you up. Watch your mouth and how you speaking about me. Blood is blood and yours runs cold. And runs cold. Scope on your head. Kill you instead. Dead to me, bitch. What's family? No fucking sympathy. No, you're not a part of me. What's family? No, you're not a part of me.
Ooh, that's right, man. I think obviously maybe there's a bit of bias being a huge Gideon fan, but some of those breakdowns and like the switch up to the bass only, and like the drops with like the mosh call outs, like, but like if you're not like if that doesn't get your shoulders moving and your body grooving, I don't know what will. But yeah, Born New, very very sick. This is just a single, so I don't know if this is a part of something coming up. I hope so. Um, if anyone in the band is listening, I remember I responded to one of your tweets saying, "Someone get me on your podcast," and I said I'm down, and then you never responded. So, balls in your court, bud. All right. So next up, we got Comeback Kid. Winnipeg hardcore legends. Canadian goats. If I'm at liberty to say that, I think so. So, if you've been living under a rock, Comeback Kid put out a new record just super, super recently called Heavy Steps. And the track we're going to be listening to is Face the Fire. This is one of my personal favorites off the record. It's got that nice blend of Comeback Kid melodicness and then just like the very like, I don't know how Jeremy comes up with these breakdowns, but he does, and it's sick. I'm really excited to be seeing these new songs being played when they're on tour with Cancer Bats and Misery Signals up here in Canada in March and April. Very excited about that. Shout out to Andrew and the gang. And yeah, without further ado, let's face the fire, bud. Very, very sick. Comeback Kid, to me, never disappoints. Very, very sick track. Very, very sick record. Go check it out if you haven't. Next up, we're going to be listening to a band called Guerrilla Warfare. And the track is called Mulligan, which has that kind of like, I don't know how the spelling, this way of spelling would be referenced, but it's kind of that like if you're making fun of someone and you're typing it out, it's like there's alternating characters that are capitalized and some are not, but it's not like consistent in that way. So I don't know if that is maybe a nod to something. Maybe I'm just reading too much into it, but this is a band from. Sorry, my notes are out of sight. This is a band from Louisville, Kentucky. This is a three-piece new metal hardcore band, which I think I've seen a lot of like live photos of them before, and the drummer has like a big, obscure looking mic stand. It kind of comes over his head. But yeah, it's I think that's what originally caught my eye. But yeah, this track has a lot of different things going on. Which if you're a new metal band, you're allowed to play the field and do some dope stuff. So I'm just gonna let this track musically speak for itself. This is Guerrilla Warfare, motherfucker.
Tryna relearn how to enjoy the ride. Got so caught up on when I arrive. I love that rush. It gets me high, but just like what Freddie said, even love will make you die. I can't see the destination. I've been so desperately tested. What times are wasting if you're so impatient? Pick up the patient, you wanna make it. But fuck that shit. I ain't always trying to carry this weight hanging on my neck. Stress feels wait up. Give me a second to catch my breath and dry my sweat. Give me some space, my heart is racing. I'm spacing in a head. I wanna be steady. I wanna live in the moment and savor the fruits of my labor. Stop it, drop it, got it. All the tracks happen. I'm bomb dropping, I ain't rolling in. Take back control of it. Put myself in the source. When the mist, I need them all again. Back to give me a stroke before we get back on the road again. Tired of staying locked indoors, but my flow ain't stopped going. Try to relearn how to enjoy the ride. It's got so caught up on when I arrive. I love that rush. It gets me high, but just like what Freddie said, even love will make you die. I can't see the destination. I've been so desperately chasing. What times are wasting if you're so impatient? Pick up the patient. You wanna make it. I've been putting in this work, still I get nervous as fuck and struggle with if it's good enough. Will I forget the words and freeze up? Sick in my stomach and this teacher. Who's in the base in the store? Shit, right on the lights, misfortunes. We still gone. Keep a blind pressure towards what we started chasing for. I'm in my zone. Living my life to the fullest. Think I'm close to what I wanted. Even though I'm scared to death and what's next. Still feeling very fortunate. And I'm still about 6 feet above ground. And I'm on those clouds, no, which is a fortune. But I'm floating smooth right now. And that's enough for me to chill in my groove for a sec. I fucking wish. Don't they? I'm bad. They find the fix. I pray and scratch this constant itch. Just let me rest and fulfill this. This dying wish. So I'm putting the wheel and I got the drive. I'ma do what I can and leave your bullshit on the side. And I still love that rush. I still ride that line on the edge of life. Somewhere between the alive and dying. Try to relearn how to enjoy the ride. I'm doing my best, don't trust, take it one day at a time, bitch.
The young and foolish they lie. Slowly. The young and foolish they lie. I love.
That was sick. Guerrilla Warfare. I feel like people that can pit to that band with all the different change-ups it's actual guerrilla warfare. But yeah, that track is dope. That track, to my knowledge, is going to be on an upcoming release titled Control, which will be out April 22nd. That's just referenced off the band's Instagram. So if you're about that vibe, check them out. Yeah, Louisville just has a bunch of freaky cool music. Next up, we're going to be listening to a band called Pull Your Card. The track we're going to be listening to is called Hell for You, which is off their latest EP titled Seeing Red. That's SEEIN apostrophe red. I appreciate the swagger there. Yeah, but this badass new band from Los Angeles kicks a ton of ass, honestly. And I've been listening to this track specifically on repeat a lot this past month. I know a lot of people, when they talk about like California hardcore, like this is one of those very, very hyped up bands right now. And yeah, California's known for the violent mosh. And there's some potential plans for the rest of this year for California for Scoped. And if I get the chance to see Pull Your Card, I know it's gonna be a sick time. I'm gonna have to like stand behind a couple monitors while I'm filming or whatever it is. But without further ado, Pull Your Card. Damn. The projection on that alone, and just, oh man, so that is the type of like heaviness that I feel like most bands in that vein should be aiming for. Even just like the like super pulled back in the mix, like I don't know if it's like a China hit or something like that, but seeing that live is literally a call for warfare. So shout out to Pull Your Card. Los Angeles hardcore is undoubtedly sick. So yeah, very, very excited to see how that band can start to evolve and get in front of more faces as shows are starting to get booked and fests are coming out. You know, if your fest is not putting on Pull Your Card, you know, give your head a shake. Next band that we're going to be listening to is a band called Moment of Truth. This is another, we got two Florida bands featured here on the podcast today, which is great. So Moment of Truth, the track we're going to be listening to is Into Darkness, which is off their new EP called A Call Beyond. I love how this band describes themselves as the next stage of human evolution, because I do feel like an apex predator when I'm listening to them. So I'm going to leave it at that. This is a moment of truth. Let's go. I was not expecting the solo, but I'm really glad that whoever raised their hand in that band, they're like, "Can I just throw a fat solo at the end here of this crushing breakdown?" Yeah, this is dope. This melodic, the opposite of that, metallic, hardcore vibe is very very sick. And it's funny, when I was looking up this band to pull notes for the show, I guess that there's an older hardcore band called Moment of Truth. So I'm biased because this is the first Moment of Truth that I found. So I'm gonna stick with that one. I'm gonna put my cards and my coins on that. But yeah, Moment of Truth, Florida hardcore, very very dope. Check out the full EP. Honestly, it's very crushing. Next up, second last of the list, is going to be Twin Tombs. The track we're going to be listening to is Wrath, off of their new album titled I don't know if it's 4:23 or 4:23 p. I don't know. 4:23. This is a project featuring some friends from the Minneapolis area, and I always like to feature really short power violence-y songs that are well under a minute. This is going to be over before it starts. But yeah, wanted to feature them. Twin Tombs has always been a band that I've heard through some of the other projects from the people I'm connected with in the Minneapolis hardcore area, and to see that they're still doing stuff and putting out really fast bursts of songs is really really sick. So hang on, because this song is only 17 seconds. So you ready? Are you sure? All right, let's go. Yeah, yep, that's it. You know, it's funny because power violence bands like that just leave you wanting more. And there's a plethora of other music to dig into from Twin Tunes if you're into that style. So shout out to them. I think it's just comedic that I'm just like, here's a song that I'm featuring on this podcast. It's only 17 seconds. Let's go. And probably it's even shorter than that with like the ring out and ring in. So we're coming up at the last track of the episode, so I'm gonna change it up that I can have this kind of play us out. But I just want to thank everyone for listening. I know the listen up thing was going strong for a long time, and then just with other things in the mix, kind of took a back seat. And I've never been a fan of just like canning something. I'm always trying to figure out like, okay, what's a way that I can still do this, even if the frequency isn't as much, because I love bringing value to people in the hardcore scene, whether that's filming a live set for them or providing them with a place to discover new music. So I really hope that you discovered at least one cool band out of this list. So again, listen up on Spotify and Apple Music. Updated monthly, and it's kind of accumulated throughout the year. Scoped exposure on all the socials. Subscribe to the podcast. Trying to do some more of those call outs because that actually really helps, and I realize that I don't do that enough. So I really appreciate everyone for tuning in and listening this far in the show. The last track that's going to play us out is Fury by Age of Apocalypse off their latest album Grim Vision on Close Cats Activities. And honestly, if you're not fucking with this band, you should just delete yourself because, this band is fucking sick. I'm really excited to see what they're going to be doing this year. So without further ado, thank you again for listening to the podcast. This is Fury by Age of fucking Apocalypse.